Hey, and we're live.
You're listening to the We Talk Nerd podcast about gaming, movies, and everything nerd. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Rob.
And it's been a little bit. We took a little bit of a break there, but we're back. We got the hard-hitting news. It's kind of a little bit slow in game releases, but we do have Smash coming out later this week, so we'll talk about that next week. But we'll start off like we always do with seeing what everybody's been up to. So, Rob, what have you been up to?
I've been splitting my time. Now that we're out of the holiday weekend, been playing a little bit of Pokemon. Yeah, a little bit of Pokemon, a little bit of Pillars. Trying to get through the rest of Tomb Raider, and actually that game's like super dark at the end. Where I'm at right now. So spoilers, it gets heavy as time goes on. But having a good amount of time before I settle in and do nothing but Red Dead, which will be upcoming. It sounds like you might have moved a little bit further ahead in that. How about you, Andrew? What you been doing?
Well, so you're setting up yourself for basically just playing Red Dead, basically.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Me playing a lot of Pokemon. I beat the game. You know, I've got maybe 90 Pokemon.
Quote unquote beat
it. Right. I have to get 151. That's when you really beat it. So to do that, I bought Eevee as well because I also needed to play on my Switch because my wife has taken over the other Switch and Pikachu version. Sure. I needed it. I needed my fix. So I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. I also been playing Warframe on the Switch. It's really good. It's very good. It's a very good version.
Is it like a fresh slate, or can you like start from where you've been on like PC and whatnot?
That's exactly what I did. They have a transfer, basically a copy of your PC account over to your Switch version, and it's a copy. So what it is you can't. It's not synced, right? It's a copy over. You play the Switch version. That's a whole nother line, and then of course if you go back to PC, that's where it starts too. So, I chose to do it on the Switch because it's portable. It feels amazing, and I've been playing that a little bit, and I've been really happy with it. That's what I've been doing.
It's kind of sad to hear that it's not like a synced version where like you're playing on your PC and it's like, oh, I gotta get on this airplane and make a 5-hour flight. But good thing I can keep playing on my Switch.
That would be amazing, right? If anything,
that would be nice.
I mean, the only people that have been doing that, but companies have been doing that is Microsoft with their systems, right? The Play Anywhere thing. Right. I would love to see all these other games adopt that mentality. That's me, but I wish maybe in the future. Maybe in the future.
No, you're wrong. I'm not sure how exactly Warframe works, but it would being all online, I would feel like could be done if you have the internet connection anyway.
If you have an internet connection, yeah. I think it could be done, yeah.
But, oh well. Anyway, what I've been doing is I've also been playing some Pokemon. I've finished it up as well. I've got about 130 of them.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got a lot from all of the ones I couldn't get in the game I got from Go. Because I had a lot of Go ways to play it when it first came out. Yeah.
All right.
So I did a lot of that.
Cheater.
Got into some more Red Dead, of course. I'm trying to clean Red Dead out so I can be done with it. But I just kind of finished the main chapters, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to play Red Dead 1 now.
Oh.
The story is. Wow. I love the story. But other than that, I've got a little bit of Battlefield 5 under my belt. It feels like Battlefield 1. It feels like they really stripped a lot of stuff away from Battlefield, and it's like, hey, let's make you buy a bunch of stuff so you get all these things.
Mm-hmm. I've heard it's basically just one.
It is basically just one. Yeah, you're exactly.
I really liked one as well.
It looks nice. It's pretty. The gunplay is really good. It's really fun to snipe across the map and stuff like that. But some of the things that I love about FPS is like customizing my gun with like attachments, making better weapons, and that's not. I mean, there is attachments in a sense, but it's not really there. It's mostly just paint. Like you've unlocked new paint jobs, or you go buy new paint jobs, or you buy clothes for your character. And I think we've lost a lot of special things that made FPS special. But
that's a good subject. That's a good subject to talk about at a later time.
It's still fun to go in and shoot people and stuff.
Yeah.
Good high quality shooting. But yeah, other than that, we can just dive into some news here and let's get it rolling.
Let's go.
So, unless you live under a rock or don't play games and come here to only listen to us talk about movies and Netflix and stuff, you haven't heard about the Fallout 76 canvas versus nylon bag controversy. So, if you don't know what this is that when the collector's edition, I think it's called the Power Armor edition, came on sale, it was $200. It came with a bunch of stuff. One of the things being everything was supposed to be encased in a canvas bag. Well, about a week after release, I saw on Reddit some guys like, hey, my bag's not canvas, it's nylon. And I reached out to the Bethesda support, and they said everybody's has nylon, and that they're not going to do anything about it, that it's just how it's going to be. That gained enough traction. Bethesda came out and said, yeah, we know, it's sorry, we didn't have, like, the cost of materials were too high, we couldn't make a canvas bag for all these editions, so we made it nylon. I know you guys don't like it, so what we'll do is we'll give you 200 Atom points, which is worth $5 in their in-game currency shop.
Oh, that feels good, because if you spent $200 on this abortion of a game,
it's like, here's your
$5 in virtual currency is going to do a lot for you.
And that's it. We're not doing anything else about it. But yeah, it kind of became the whole EA thing where it's like, we want players to feel pride and accomplishment. Except their comments was
a crappy bag that they'll never take outside their house.
Their thing was, yeah, we know about it. We're not doing anything about it. We have no plans to fix this. And people got pretty peed-out about it. The memes got rolling. The Reddit storm blew.
As if the memes weren't going already, honestly.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because
what cracked me up, though, was they... the response that they gave was, okay, well, we're not doing anything about it. We're sorry that you didn't get the bag you wanted, but we went with a cheaper one because of like the cost to do it. We're not planning to do anything about it.
Right.
And then like Bethesda came out and was like, hey, we're sorry. The person that you spoke with was like a temporary employee and like didn't have all their facts together. We're still not doing anything about it.
Yeah. Here's $5.
And here's $5.
Yeah. And then, people of the internet and, gamers alike, being who they are, they did a little bit more digging. It turns out Bethesda gave a bunch of canvas bags to promote the game to a bunch of promoters and influencers. They gave a bunch of free canvas bags out for the game for free. Like, you didn't pay $200 for this one; it was for free, and they made them canvas. So of course, that being that, and actually right before we started this podcast, I actually got on there, did some more research, and as of today, maybe just a couple hours ago, they came out and said, hey, we're sorry. Go to our website, go to our support page. There's a form you can fill out proving that you bought the Power Armor Edition, and we'll send you a canvas bag when, quote unquote, when they are ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 2020, get ready to get your Fallout 76 canvas bags.
Well, it's good that they're actually going to finally come through on this. If you look, there's a history of Bethesda advertising really nice add-ins and then not actually giving them. Usually it had something to do with maps. Like they had maps for like Elder Scrolls or Oblivion.
Like
and they were supposed to be like canvas maps, and they would all show up and they'd be plastic or paper or something like that. So there's a bit of a history in Canvas Gate with Bethesda. So I wouldn't trust anything from them. And if anything, let this be a lesson to you: never pre-order any game. It will be there on launch day. Yeah,
that's true. What kills me though is that they never, the entire pre-order process. Not once they come out and say, "Hey, sorry, you guys, we can't make these canvas. They're going to be nylon. So just let you know, if you want to cancel or swap it out before this game releases, here's your chance." It was a week later. Wait a second, wasn't that supposed to be canvas? It's nylon.
Hoping you didn't notice.
Yeah, and they got away with it for a week at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like I said, it's something that they've been doing for a while, and I'm glad they got caught on it. But there is a thing about advertising products that you're not actually gonna fulfill. So
it's definitely
they could probably get in some trouble for this if they didn't come clean.
There's so much reactionary patches that people that developers are doing now recently with problems that people are legitimately angry about online, and I like to see less of that from AAA studios. Like, understand your players and then give them what they need.
Probably going to keep seeing more of it until they figure out what exactly they can get away with and what they can't get away with. Well, this is that moment in time.
Oh yeah,
Bethesda has never been known to put out bug-free games. They've always released something that's workable with some, usually not game-killing bugs, but usually there's problems, and they eventually make it right, and it takes years, and then the modding community gets involved, and actually that's what's happening now. You're getting a lot of modders that are coming in and helping out.
You can look over some things because you're like, wow, this is a great game. There's a lot of content I can do. There's a lot of things to see. It's very immersive. But with Fallout 76, everybody's feeling the opposite. It's like there's a lack of things to do. I don't feel immersed in this world, and it's full of freaking bugs.
Yeah.
To the point where reviewers are like, I don't want to keep playing this game to review it because it's so bad and full of so many bugs that we're just not going to play it and review it.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully they'll feel better about it tomorrow when they have a major patch dropping.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Carry capacity is going up by 200 pounds, so from 400 to 600. Some players, in case you didn't know, were trapped in their power armor forever, unable to leave. No longer. They will now be able to leave the confines of their power armor. They're offering a better loot table from bosses. You can do like a nuke event where they blow up a section of the map, and then it's more of a raid at that point. And what they're finding is when they kill these bosses, they be very underwhelming loot coming out of them. So the loot table is supposed to be improved now. And now they're promising better communication between community and the devs because the devs did this. And they made this terrible game, and they're the ones that rushed it out and gave nylon bags instead of canvas bags. But maybe it'll be good because they're really the only ones that can fix this and provide, a path to a better game. I think this thing just is a flop. Brandon, I think you've actually played it though, right?
Yeah, I own the game.
What was your feedback?
I paid full price. I haven't played enough of it to give you full feedback on there. It's a very empty world. I've played other Fallout games. You're like, yeah, of course it's empty. It's post-apocalyptic, whatever. But there's enough story-driven stuff going on, and I get it. The context of the game makes sense not to have NPCs and that kind of thing. But I feel like there was no passion. Like, you can see that there wasn't any kind of passion involved. It feels like they took Fallout 4, stripped a bunch of things away, and added online to it.
Yeah, they figured out a monetization scheme.
Yeah,
and they slapped the Fallout logo on it.
And I've seen Ko play a lot. Ko has put a lot of time into it, but he's a huge Fallout fan.
Yeah, he hates this game though.
He hates it, but he plays it. There's some, like, if you're a big Fallout fan, there's enough story in there that if you want the story, you'll play it just for that. It takes a lot of effort. But it's not a game for everybody. It's not a game you can just pick up and play and enjoy. You kind of have to force enjoyment upon yourself.
And that's what you want out of a game is.
Oh yeah, totally forced enjoyment. Like, I love this game.
Yeah, it hurts so good.
It hurts so good, but I feel there might be an opportunity to fix some things if they act fast enough and quick enough. But it's kind of looking like a big flop.
There were some reviewers. I mean, this is the story of No Man's Sky, right? Where No Man's Sky release didn't promise like what it said, and it was a terrible release. But they made up for it.
This is lower than Fallout, actually, or than No Man's Sky.
Than No Man's Sky,
I think. Yeah,
that makes sense. But in this case, I think that a lot of reviewers are kind of looking back at it and saying maybe this is. It could turn around and have that amazing patch later, right?
No Man's Sky was its own game. It was different enough for it didn't have a game it built off of. They made a brand new game. This is Fallout 4. It didn't take a whole lot of time to add these things. I give No Man's Sky credit for being at least what they put out was new, was different, even though it wasn't everything that they promised. Fallout 76 is. It is like someone went and made a mod for Fallout 4 for online play.
Yeah, it really does kind of feel like that, and chat's agreeing with you on that. Basically, brought up the exact same point with No Man's Sky. Yeah. So, Yeah, No Man's Sky is one of those that was able to redeem themselves. So let's see what what they're able to come up with.
Of course, they could just look at this and dust their hands and go, let's go on to that other game we're making.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got enough in here, and this is a money making scheme. This is an engine to make money on. So
yep.
I think that this was supposed to be like their Elder Scrolls, but for Fallout. So they really don't have the all right. Let's start over again.
Oh, you mean like Elder Scrolls Online?
Exactly. Yeah. This
is Elder
their...
Scrolls Online. Nothing is like leagues above this game.
It is now.
I think even at launch it was. I had a lot of fun.
Launch it had some rough spat, but nothing like this. This is the worst Bethesda release I can think of.
Oh,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
76.
Well, let's talk about another great game.
Yeah, let's just keep grinding down into torturous player experiences.
Wait. What? No.
And
Go
we
ahead,
got more Destiny 2 news.
Yay!
Yeah, the Black Armory monetization scheme revealed.
Season Pass
is a new raid. Yeah, it is Season Pass. So this is if you have the Season Pass, this will not cost you any extra money yet. This does seem to be shorter than the Last Wish raid, or at least that's what the expectations they've laid out for.
Yeah.
But they have added a kind of a new mechanic that sounds pretty cool. It's called Lost Forges, and it's like Build-A-Bear, but you're constantly being attacked. And at the end of it, you get a new weapon. So
Sounds
you
good.
and a group of guardians go into these Lost Forges. You build like a legendary weapon, and the whole time the everyone's just attacking you and trying to get you killed. And then if
trying
you
to steal my Build-A-Bear,
right, exactly. So December 4th shapes up to be just a bad day all around for everybody.
No. We've been seeing a lot of people coming in.
This may actually be fairly decent content for Destiny, and anything that gets new loot in people's hands is a good idea. So, hey, why not just build that into some activities?
So, to get this update, you not only have to have Forsaken, but you also have to buy the new Season Pass.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I mean, this is the same Season Pass you would have bought in a bundle when Forsaken came out.
No.
But if you didn't...
Different one.
This is a new Season Pass?
They... Remember, it was like about 6 months ago, where they're
like... Pass in September.
Yeah, the annual... That's the same thing. It's an annual pass. They're rebranding it to be like, oh, instead of these DLCs you're gonna get constant things. You're gonna get...
Yeah, so if you bought the annual pass, this is included.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
not the same as the Season Pass from Destiny 2's original launch.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep.
Right.
So something I want to touch on for the Forge's activity. It has matchmaking, which is fantastic because, right? A lot of people have been stating like, okay, is it like Escalation Protocol or is it like the Wish, the actual new events like Escalating Protocol in the new area? It's not. It's going to be different where you can actually matchmake, get in, and just do the activity. Whereas the other ones, you have to do some really hard workarounds to try to find people, instance in, and get all 9 people into it. So this is just a good way of getting the end game loot, matchmaked, and it's a new experience. So that's something that Destiny players want, in my opinion, at least right now. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm already locked in. I already bought it like 6 months ago anyway. So
yeah, exactly. You're
a designated Destiny.
I was schemed in already, so it's okay. It's all right.
Now, before we get into the next bit of news, December 4th isn't going to be all bad. There is actually a new release coming out called Mutant Road to Eden. And it's an XCOM post-apocalyptic type of game where you are... Looks like there's a human teamed up with a pig and a duck mutant.
Is this
doing kind of a tactical game?
Like a Kingdom Hearts spinoff?
Would sound like that.
Sure.
But it's created by a team including the former Hitman leads and designer of Payday. So if you look at it, it's a pretty cool XCOM-looking game. It's got some campaign... going along with that. Now, I'm not here to review this or even preview this, but just the public service announcement that if you have Microsoft Game Pass, this is going to be included with this on launch day.
Oh, so, nice.
It's a $35 game on Steam. It's a free game in Game Pass if you end up having that.
I love XCOM like games. Those are always fun.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it might be worth checking out. And while I have no idea if the game is good or not. The trailer looked interesting, and there's definitely some cool abilities. So you kind of play as like 3 different heroes. They're not all 3 of the exact same capabilities. So kind of a stealth XCOM deal.
It's like that Mario Rabbids game we had not too long ago.
Yeah,
Love that one. Love
Good game.
Yeah, so hopefully this is similar.
Speaking of Nintendo and Mario and all that good stuff, we have Super Smash Bros. That new release is coming out this Friday, like we already talked about. But for those of you who like to maybe sell on a different part of the internet with some ships and hats and hooks and things, you may have noticed that you could already play Smash Bros. Because like the previous 2 Smash Bros. Games, it's leaked a week early.
Oh.
So I'm not encouraging anything or anything. I'm just letting you know that if you want Smash early, it's out there.
We're not saying to do
I actually
that.
seen people asking in Discords like, "Hey, anybody on here got Smash the share?" Like, I don't think anyone's gonna put that on Discord.
No.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of weird. Nintendo's been kind of like making big deals out of it.
As they should.
Yeah,
As they should.
but
And then I already
it
pre-ordered
keeps
it.
hlike I feel like there's somebody on the Smash team.
Yeah, right. The mole and the Smash team.
Like I think there was a picture came out of like the full roster or something. Nintendo like came down on that really hard, really fast. But yeah, so that's cool. It'll be here really fast. You know, if you're just an honest gamer, you just got a couple more days to wait. It'll be here. Yep, you get all your good Smash glory in.
And single player.
Yeah, it's got single player now, so that's actually exciting for me because I'm not really into the competitive side of Smash, so
We can be.
More than nostalgia.
I don't know. Nothing like I love playing Smash, but I'll never understand how people get so good at that game. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
like just the
You know,
timing.
It's amazing though. Watching
a couple
it.
months ago,
When people are good at it, they're really good.
I was reading about like they're having to like ban people from Smash tournaments or shut the tournaments down because of how poor the hygiene is of the competitors.
Oh no.
Yeah. So if you're a big competitive Smash player, keep your hygiene up, people.
Yeah, you got to get in there. They have requirements to get in now. Must be.
Yeah, like you have to like not
must wear deodorant.
stink.
Yeah. Man.
So,
all right.
That's funny. I just wanted to put that out there.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So let's move on to the Wild Wild West.
Yeehaw.
And to the Red Dead Online, which released last week. It's maybe still technically in beta, but it was like a slow release where if you played by a certain date or you only bought a certain version of the game, it kind of slowly released over the week. But everybody who owns the game should have full access to it now. And everybody realized that the economy is a mess. So to paint a picture, it is basically Grand Theft Auto Online all over again. And players this time are being very vocal about how they don't like it.
That's weird. Players don't normally do that.
Players don't normally do that. But here, just to kind of give you an example of how things are kind of odd, you can actually sell or buy a can of beans, and it will cost more or sell higher than the price of a gold ring that you loot off somebody. That's right. A can of beans, people, is
You
worth
don't need a
more
gold
than
ring to live.
golden ring.
What?
You don't
Yes.
need a gold ring to live, but that can of beans might keep you alive.
Yeah. So the economy's on all shambles. The biggest thing about Red Dead, at least for the single player aspect, was kind of keeping with realism and pricing and money and that kind of thing. And for the most part, single player does a pretty good job. Maybe inflated just a little bit, but in terms of online, like for example, like the Mauser, I think it's called the Mauser pistol or something, is like $1,000 in game money. And in real life, and back in 1899, you could buy one for like $35. And people are kind of, just like, we get it. You can't have it be exact because it wouldn't be a very good player experience. But at the same time, you got like a grindy mess where you can't get like, that's not even like the highest. That's like the very beginning of high end content. Like, how much is the latter stuff going to cost when it comes out?
Oh, right.
And of course, just like you don't have enough money to buy it, but if you buy these gold bars,
exactly,
with your credit card, you could buy it right now.
Just don't turn them all into rings, because then you can't even afford to.
Your gold bars are worthless when they're rings. But yeah, it's just everything's a mess. Supposedly, they're already Rockstar's looking into going back and kind of rebalancing the cost and rewards you get from missions and things to make it more equal out and maybe not be as bad. Because from what I understand, if they don't get this fixed and draw enough players into the online loop, they're going to lose tons of money because people aren't actually in the game buying these things.
Yeah, the people will be in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they might
be really broken and terrible, and people complain, but they'll still play. It's I mean, look at Grand Theft Auto Online. It's it's a broken economy as well.
I mean, I personally never heard anything, that as much as I've heard about Red Dead being as bad as it is.
Oh, this is also like just when it's starting off. I mean,
that's true.
In GTA when it first got started, it was pretty rough. They had a lot of boosters for people, $10 billion or whatever to get started with. I mean, there was all sorts of things, but yeah, I think it's just going to be in time. Obviously, this will get straightened out. I'm not ready to be too concerned about it just yet.
But how's the actual gameplay? How is when you're going in? Is a storyline?
I played a little bit of it. Yeah, there is a storyline. I didn't get all the way through the opening act of it because I'm like, I'm just gonna go back and play more single player because I'm not done with that yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it does have a storyline. Of course, it's got missions and things to play. There is, I think, some matchmaking. It doesn't have all the old game modes that the original one had. People are kind of sad about that. It is kind of there's a lot of griefing going on.
That's what I've been hearing. Because I heard you can join a posse, you can raid something. Oh, you get the loot, then leave the posse and just grief them, basically kill them and get their stuff. So there's that going on.
I've seen lots of videos of people getting lassoed and funny things occurring because of lassoing. But yeah, it's interesting. Very
so interesting. Sea of Thieves, Wild West. A lot of griefing.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll fix this one over Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a very good experience for a group of 4 people that want to play consistently and cause havoc. It's a terrible solo or duo campaign. You gotta be ready to just go out and fight with a bunch of people. So this one, I think you could probably still do solo.
But like I said, they're still saying it's beta.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that saves their skin a little bit. It's like, oh, this is beta. Everything's not ironed out quite yet, guys. Calm down.
That's what they should have done with Fallout 76.
The store's beta. Not beta.
Yeah, go ahead and buy this $60 game. It's in beta still.
It's in beta.
Yeah, the real money store is not.
Tag it with early access. Throw it back to 2015, 2016 early access games. But yeah, it's kind of it for the news and controversies this week. I'm sure we'll have lots of more stuff to talk about here in the near future.
Yeah. Well, so I was going to talk about a game that's not exactly free of controversy.
This game made a kind of a big splash when it was announced.
Yeah, I think people had some concerns about it, and what I'm referring to is Artifact, the collectible card game online through Steam. It kind of uses a Dota 2 skin and uses some of those heroes and some of those factions. And what it's basically
Hearthstone for Dota 2.
Yeah, it's like Hearthstone. Except you got 3 lanes. You got your, your left, right, your mid, and what you're trying to do is knock down towers, the opposing units' towers.
Wait, are you sure you didn't? Towers. You sure you didn't play Dota?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Then you make your hero walk all the way around, and you farm for stuff. No, it's got a very, as someone who never really played Dota, I'm kind of just tangentially aware of what these things actually mean, but it does a good job of introducing you to the game. It all makes sense, and it's all a good amount of fun. I think the problem is more of the longevity and what this looks like for people that, number one, are paying full price for the game, and number two, if they want to invest in more cards, like how you do that. So, to be fair, I didn't know I had a copy of Artifact until I logged into Steam and saw that it said it was already in my library. It turns out if you were an early adopter of the Steam controller, they put you on a friends and family list, and you end up getting all Valve games for free.
Nice.
It sounds interesting, except Valve doesn't make games anymore. So I didn't realize this benefit until just now, and I bought that controller probably 3 years ago. So this is
you use that controller?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. It's good. That controller. We'll talk about the controller some other time. It's got a built-in mouse that few other controllers can match. So, with that said, I'm just going to give some first impressions on Artifact. I've probably played about 6 or 7 games just against the PC. I haven't done anything against online matches yet. But the first thing I'll say is that it's pretty easy to learn and pick up. Enemies have health, or cards have health, and they have attack, and then you can imbue them with things that you buy from the store, and you get more money to buy things from the store.
Not real money, are we?
Not real money, no.
Okay.
No, we'll get into the real money aspect of it now, but this is just the way the mechanics of the game actually work. So you might put down like a hero and then like some mobs down in like a particular lane, and then your goal is to overwhelm the other side's mobs and attack the tower behind it. And as soon as one of those towers have gone down to 40, or once you've reduced them down to 0, then a much larger crystal comes out, and that's got a life of 80. And if you nuke that down to 0, you win the game. Another way to win the game is just to knock out any other tower. So if you take out 2 towers, you win. Otherwise, you can just focus fire on 1 tower and then 1 crystal.
Okay.
So it's an interesting dynamic where you can just overload and just control one area, and then just try to play defense on another one, or you can kind of spread out your attack and try to take out 2 areas. I've never taken out a crystal. Everything I've done, every time I've won, it's been taken out 2 towers. So it's created by one of the original founders of Magic, Richard Garfield. So he's got tons of flexibility and deck builds in there. And of course, there's different color schemes. So you got your blue, your black, your red, your green. Those are your primary color schemes. And from that, there's a ton of different builds you can do. And what I was kind of happy to see is that right off the bat, they give you 5 pre-constructed decks to play with. So you already have a playable foundation. You don't have to know how to build a deck. You can just use the ones that are pre-constructed and just go out there and play, which is nice. Now, with that being said, if you did want to customize a deck, that's where the real money comes in, because you can't get cards by earning them. You have to either win them in tournaments and events, or you have to pay cash money for them. So one thing I was kind of encouraged, though, is that most cards in the game are 2 cents. So that really is a low barrier to entry to be able to create what they call popper decks. So basically just decks that are reasonable to play that cost you 80 cents, to put together. Or maybe even if you throw in a couple high-powered cards, you'd still be under like $7 or $8. To make a competitive deck in Hearthstone, I've had to drop at least like $50 to get that legendary or get the dust required for it. So it's somewhat imagined that this thing is all about the money, because you can buy the specific cards. And if you get a card and you don't like it, or if you open up a deck and it's an extra one, you can go sell it on the Steam economy and recoup your money.
Just kind of put this on the side. I was kind of reading the reviews while you're talking about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think all the top comments are bought the game, opened the free packs, got cards worth more than game, sold the marketplace, uninstalled game, profit.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely have that option. I think I've got about $40 worth of cards. I unlocked, I think, 3 or 4 really good cards. I think the most expensive card in the game is $20. So that's called X, and I think it's just like absolutely brutal. We were people at work even that don't play video games it had shown up on their feed somehow. So if you're not sure if you'd like to play the game or not, it's really tough to say what you should do then, because there is no free-to-play option to check the game out and see what you think. Outside of maybe just watching a Twitch stream, it's really hard to say if you would like this game or not. So I think the barrier to entry is going to be kind of tough for new people to adopt and come into the game.
Because like you mentioned before, you have to buy the game.
You got to buy the game. It's a $20 game.
$20 game. Yeah.
You have to be willing to put that $20 out. Chances are high you're going to make more money than you put into it, or you have that potential. But if you're interested in a collectible card game, you play Hearthstone, or maybe you've kind of dropped off a little bit, but you kind of want to look and see what else is there. You got two good options right now, as far as I can see. Artifact is good with a little bit higher barrier to entry, and it's tough to really recommend it over Magic the Gathering, because Magic the Gathering Arena is free to play. To still build out that set and those decks and everything, you still have to pay money like you would in Artifact, but at least you can try it out and not have to pay anything up front. So I would just say, if you're a fan of collectible card games, I think there's a lot to like here. But $20 is kind of steep, considering most games in this genre are free to play. So that said, it's a tough decision you kind of have to make if you're ready to drop that kind of money in there.
But once you've said, though, it is a different card game, and it has a different aspect. Maybe it's something that'll change, because maybe they're going for the card players that want something different because they've been playing Hearthstone for so long, right? Or they've been playing these other card games for so long that they want something different. And this is a AAA title, really. Like, really, it is.
Yeah.
You could say. So AAA
for card games, sure.
Yeah, for card games.
Values are top notch. It looks really, really good. It's very it's got a good music score to it, so you really feel like you're in kind of like a Lord of the Rings war type of scenario. It feels right when you're playing the game.
Nice.
Those imps are pretty cute too. I don't know if you've seen them, but they like fly around and like they open up the store for you and they hand you your cards like that. They're not necessary or even like a good part of the game, but like when you kill another hero, like the other team's imp will like pretend like play dead and like fall over, and the other one's like acting like he's attacking. It's all just part of the
aesthetic,
the atmosphere. That's pretty interesting, and it's what you get when you have a game that's $20 as opposed to a free to play game.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that, though.
Yeah. So I'll be updating a little bit more as I get more time to play, but for now, I think it'd be hard for me to recommend it to someone that is kind of on the fence, just because it's $20.
Cool stuff. Brawl Bar, Cardman. Cardman. Anyway.
The Cardman.
Yeah, I'm the card man. That's what they call me.
For the first time ever. Talk about some movie and TV stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. Every time we talk about TV stuff, it usually ends up being about Netflix, and this week is no different. We start off with the biggest story in my eyes. Is Cowboy Bebop live action coming to Netflix?
Woo!
So, are you guys fans of the series?
I've never watched it.
Oh, it's so.
Whoa! That's a classic right there. Yeah, that full series right there, and the movie. The movie's good too.
Yeah, the movie's great. It was available. I think there was a Black Friday deal for like the whole series, like in HD for like $10 or something. So I picked that up, but I think you could probably still rent it through Netflix, like on the discs if they're there. I think that's how I first watched it.
Or maybe some service like Crunchyroll or something. I don't know. Maybe
Crunchyroll probably has it. There's going to be ways to watch it, but probably the coolest thing about Cowboy Bebop is its kind of its universe that it built. It's not very anime. I know it sounds weird because it is an anime. It's one of the most popular animes of all time, but it's a space cowboy. Probably more along the lines of Firefly than anything else. So this is about bounty hunters and capturing bad guys with money on them, and and a bit of subterfuge, right? Faye Valentine comes in. There's some gambling and everything else, and probably the cutest corgi in the entire world is
by far.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see how they'll do this live. I'm concerned but hopeful at the same time.
I wonder if Netflix goes on Reddit and sees all the Netflix anime, the manga, and then the live adaptation memes, and are like, oh yeah, let's do another one.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think I did a review of Full Metal Alchemist, of the live action one. I enjoyed it. That's just me. I liked Full Metal Alchemist. I liked Brotherhood. I liked even the original one. Then just watching what they did with that movie, they kind of encompassed everything that was good about it.
Yeah, but Cowboy Bebop's such a bigger world.
Oh, it is.
Full Metal.
absolutely. And it's just that cool. Like they could do a lot with it. They really could. I mean, I'm not sure if that's going to be a movie or is it going to be a series. They haven't said, right? So, looking forward to it.
Series.
Regardless,
Yeah,
series.
series. Yep.
Okay, there you go. And whoever gets the Spike role is going to be key, right?
Yeah,
right.
I don't know who.
I don't know.
Spike?
I don't know.
Who
I
could be that guy? Because you got to be a kung fu master,
right?
Or at least like plausible.
Like, you gotta be the coolest guy.
You gotta be kind of skinny, right? Because you couldn't just be like some ripped guy. Like
they should call Finn Jones. I heard he's out of a job.
He's looking for work.
He's looking for work. I know he already loves kung fu.
Yeah, Spike Spiegel, I think is the name. Private Eye, and yeah, he's kind of like a down on his luck kind of guy. You couldn't have like your typical Marvel superhero actor
no
play the role. It's got to be someone that can kind of pull this off and be cool but schlubby at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Back to other stuff.
Yeah,
sort
more
of related.
Netflix.
Yeah, more Netflix. Oh, actually, I'm gonna keep it the anime stuff, and then we'll go to Netflix stuff.
Nice.
All right.
But Blade Runner is getting its own animated series from Adult Swim, and I think they're partnered with Crunchyroll. So we'll see a Blade Runner. I think we've already had like a Blade Runner anime movie or something that came out in between this last one that came out.
Yeah, it's probably promotional for the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't check it out.
Haven't either.
I do like the Blade Runner world though. That's
it's a cool.
That's a lot of fun. And
yeah, it's supposed to be a cool series. So.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much gonna be Cyberpunk 77 though. So
probably
it's gonna be very close in line with that.
Maybe it'll build hype around that a little bit.
Oh man, like that thing needs any more hype.
Yeah. Back to the Netflix stuff. This is super sad, but Daredevil is canceled. So for all those hoping that maybe it's just Luke Cage and Iron Fist because they were they had really weak first seasons and that's why they got the axe. With the cancellation of Daredevil, I think it's safe to say no, Netflix is killing off every one of the Marvel series. Don't need an announcement. Like I can already tell you now, Punisher and Jessica Jones will be canceled.
Oh yeah. And it makes sense. This is the intellectual property wars.
Yep.
Disney is a competitor. What would happen if you kept pumping up, Daredevil with Netflix money, and then now that all the reruns are shown on, Disney streaming,
Yep.
Disney Plus, or maybe even some like they end up migrating them over that way. It's just business.
Yeah. Well,
as far as that goes, you hate to see
according to all the sources, the Marvel executives were caught by surprise by the announcement that it was being canceled. In fact, the writers are already in the writing room and in the process of writing a season 4 when they got a call and was like, hey, you guys go home. We're not making a season 4. And they said that season 4 was actually looking really great. Of course, they're going to say that, of course. But, yeah, it's, they're in the process of already making it. That's kind of heartbreaking to hear.
I'm just wondering why they wouldn't, like, if it's an intellectual property thing, why would Disney just hire them, the same team?
Yeah, it's like, but here's the thing. To me, it sounds like Netflix is the one that's cutting these off. It's like, if we don't 100% own rights to this show, we're getting rid of it.
Okay.
Because Disney's...
It's an ABC Studios production, so Daredevil was not developed or brought on by Netflix. It was purchased, or at least funded by Netflix to run. So, last episode we talked about Disney Plus coming out and that being the big new thing, and now we're looking at kind of the fallout of that. Disney doesn't need help to be any bigger than it is right now. So, yeah, you're going to look at a lot of these properties going away. They've already said a lot of the Disney movies that are on Netflix now are going to be dropping off.
Everything when this comes out, everything Disney on Netflix will be gone. That's which is another reason why they're removing all these Disney movies and Star Wars and the Marvel movies and all the just animated movies. And that Netflix is kind of like, well, if you're going to get rid of all this, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of these Marvel shows as well. That kind of thing. But no word on if Disney will continue these shows on either Hulu or Disney Plus. I'm holding out hope that it's possible. I think there's enough interest in it, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure if people are vocal enough about it and make a big enough stance, like, "Hey, no matter where this show's at, I'll go watch it." Maybe they'll make it happen. But
I think Daredevil would probably do that. I don't think anyone really loved the Defenders too much.
No, they don't think they like the Defenders.
But
people are actually, like, from what I understand, people are looking forward to the next season of Luke Cage and Iron Fist because they had turned it around so much in their second seasons, and they had set a stage for a very interesting third season. But never got to see it. Never came to fruition.
Yeah, well, that's on Disney to bring it out. So we'll see.
Definitely.
There is some rumors just mixed along with that is that there may be some sightings of these characters in the movies proper. There's even been some speculation that Daredevil might show up in the Black Widow movie.
That would be interesting.
I would love to see it, but we'll see. We'll see what actually happens.
So tell me about this other Netflix show.
Sure. So into the review side of TV, I have been putting this off, but I've been dying to watch it. It's the season 2 of Castlevania, which we talked about the first season last year, which was only 4 episodes. This year, obviously, double the episodes, and quite a bit more of the story as far as what's actually going on. So the way season 1 starts off is Dracula's wife, who was human, is killed, and Dracula swears vengeance on the humans and begins to attack the towns. And of course, rising from the grave or from obscurity or a drunken winehouse is the remaining Belmont survivor, and he is he's out to fight back. So this kind of picks up where that left off. So this is really season 1.5 and maybe the end of what that first season probably should have been. They just weren't quite sure if it was really going to work or not.
Right.
So what I was very surprised to find out is this is not just him walking in one direction, left or right, and whipping monsters as they show up on the screen. This is actually very deep. There's vampire politics going on. So depending upon where you are in the pecking order of your vampire strength is where is kind of where you fell in Dracula's army. So there was like a barbarian vampire. There's of course sexy vampire lady, and there's vampires from all over the place, from like Asia, Asian countries, and
I've watched 4 episodes of this so far, and like I get what you're talking about when you say these things. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So it's all about Dracula, putting this war on humans, and all I could think about was they should make an animated Game of Thrones show like this. Like they could do the same thing, and it would be so awesome because they could do the dragons, they could do the monsters, they could do all the things that they don't really have the budget for on the show.
Yeah.
And this format would be amazing. It would be perfect to do it. So I kind of felt like I felt like if you like Game of Thrones, you'd probably like Castlevania quite a bit. There's quite a bit going on there. There's a lot of morally gray stuff going on. Like no one is innocent. No one's really the hero. Everyone's got problems. So that's what I thought was pretty interesting about it is you're not exactly sure who's on the right side by the end of the season. It's very well written, voice acted, and animated. Probably my only complaint is it's really short and maybe a little predictable as it goes on. You can kind of see where things are going several episodes out, I think, from the end. So that's the only thing that I would really knock on it is that it wasn't as surprising what actually ends up happening. Now, there are some moments that are absolutely jaw-dropping, and I will not mention those at all, but get ready for them. Enjoy them. So overall, I'm giving it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, just from the 4 I've watched, I'd probably say it's probably going to be a 7. I don't know. You said it was it was really well written, the voice acting really well animated. I don't know. I agree with all that, but sometimes some of the voiceovers, some of the lines is kind of odd to me.
Sure, and I think that's part of it because you could tell they're not in the same room. Like they're speaking to each other, and it doesn't sound like two people talking to each other. It sounds like someone doing a line, then someone else doing a different line.
Yeah.
So there's some things that really don't match up. The one thing I'll tell you that you haven't seen yet is the big battle scenes where people just start using their abilities, and that's pretty awesome. So I mean, you've maybe seen some of the village attacking things, but when the vampires start fighting and Simon Belmont, or not Simon, Belmont comes out. I forgot which Belmont this is, and then of course Alucard. So, yeah, there's gonna be some interesting stuff coming up for you as far as the fights go.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, so it's in like good, very good territory. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I definitely put it as very good. You know, I think it could be a little better polished. I think the animation could be a little cleaner, but overall, it's really well done. And I think it's for an audience, but it's not for every audience. Like I couldn't say, "Mom, Dad, you should watch this Castlevania." There's a guy who whips himself till he bleeds. You'll love it.
Season 3? Question mark?
Season 2.
I mean, like, is there going to be?
There will certainly be a season
3 was already like green lit before season 2 came out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's been pretty well hyped up, and I think people will enjoy this, and it'll end up picking up. So then I continued with some more binge watching over the weekend, and watched all 6 new episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000: The Return, Season 2, which they have called The Gauntlet. You know, these are just 6 terrible movies that they have laid out in front of you. And I'll speak just briefly on some of the first ones. I don't want to give away too much on the other ones, but you could tell that the guys are really settling into their roles more in season 2 versus season 1, where they were kind of figuring it out. Like there hasn't been a Mystery Science Theater show in 20 years, and they had to come in and like be those people, right? So now that it went off, everyone's really happy with it. You know, even the purists are thinking that they at least did a pretty good job. So now they're able to kind of settle in and make it theirs. So this is where, you know, all these new actors, Jonah and Baron, and they're all making themselves like this new character for them. So the very first movie they watch is Mac and Me.
Oh boy.
Which was a terribly cheesy ripoff of E.T. And the only reason I know of it is because whenever Paul Rudd goes on Conan, he always shows this clip of Mac and Me, the kid going on a wheelchair down the side of a cliff and then falling off into like a ravine down below. And then this little alien pops up and like goes, whoa. And he shows it every time he's got a clip for a movie. So it's a thing. It's kind of funny that's there. I had to do a double take on the next one. At first, I thought they were going to be reviewing or watching Pacific Rim. It turns out there's a whole nother ocean that has a rim that's not being served, and that is Atlantic Rim. And it's made by The Asylum, which is a group for sci-fi that just makes terrible cash grab movies. They're most famous for the Sharknado series, but they will put a movie together cheap and quick. And usually it'll be something that kind of ties into a release that's coming out. So obviously they released Atlantic Rim around the same time that Pacific Rim came out. It's terrible. They have a lot of fun tearing it apart. It's just not something anyone should watch. So it's really good seeing them like dig into these movies and really give them a good lashing. So it goes on like that. The other 4 are excellent movies, excellent episodes for that. There's a lot of good guest appearances from previous members of Mystery Science Theater. So if you're a fan, you're already watching it. You don't need me to tell you that. If you're not, it's a good series to pick up and check out. I give this one 8 out of 10 overall.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So saying is we should watch it.
Yeah, if you've never watched Mystery Science Theater before, some of the older ones, the jokes are kind of dated. Most of it's still really funny, but they're making jokes that are meant for the late 80s and mid 90s, right? So they don't necessarily hold up anymore. But there's some jokes in here where they're somewhat timely and they make sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know you've talked a lot, Rob.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I need a break from talking. But I'll let me go and just wrap up this marathon session here.
Yeah.
And did you know that Batman 1000 is coming out in March?
That's a lot of Batman.
That is a lot of Batman. So 1000. They would have already been here by now, but they took a pause in 2011 and did a reboot thing that kind of took them off a little bit. But they're back. And the interesting part of this is that they will be introducing Arkham Knight into the DC comic continuity.
Good.
So did you guys play the Arkham Knight game?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a pretty cool character. I thought that was that's gonna be pretty interesting to see. So
can we spoil this? Like, is this a good, safe, fair game now to spoil?
Yeah,
it's a press release. I mean, I don't know what else to.
Yeah. I mean, he's already a character in the comics. Is this?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we can as far as who he really is.
This is Jason Todd.
Yeah.
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 So he's already a character, but he's like because it wasn't also like the Red Hood, and I think he played maybe Joker at some point or something.
Yeah. So they kind of mix around with his origin story. Let me see if I can't find the official one that they say for him. But what happened was Red Hood is one of the Robins that's not Dick Grayson. It was Jason Todd, and he was beaten to death by the Riddler or by the Joker with a crowbar. So they basically have done this again, but now it's Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of being the Red Hood, he is basically the Arkham Knight now.
It's like the anti-Batman.
Exactly. He's a Punisher Batman mix. Uses guns, kills people in that way. Ultra violent. I think what they're trying to indicate is that after the Arkham Knight, he became the Red Hood, which if you go back into like old DC continuity, that was supposedly where the Joker started, was as the Red Hood.
Oh.
So it was all supposed to be somewhat circular in that way. But it looks like this will be kind of that in-between time between him getting killed by the Joker and then coming back. So we'll see. It might end up being a whole new character redesign, because if they want to keep Red Hood, which he's in comics and he's in series already, they may not want to do away with that total continuity. So either way, Arkham Knight will be part of the DC continuity proper, which I'm looking forward to. I'll check it out.
Cool character.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But I think that's about everything we've got for this week, and we're just about right on time. So if Andrew wants to promote some things, and we'll get out of here. We'll let Andrew talk now, since he doesn't.
I'm not wearing my PixelPub T-shirt. Yeah, I know. Basically, no, I am so glad that we can do this mostly every week. But for the holidays, we'll definitely be talking about Smash next week, right? Yep. That's for sure. We already pre-ordered it, so that's next week. But
Smash for sure.
Yeah, for the holiday season of PixelPub, and that is the gaming community that we are a part of, it's ramping up. We still have a lot of Destiny people coming in, new people, and also like the veterans getting into the new content. So that's our humongous Wrath Incarnate clan. So if you want to join that, all the information on pixelpubgaming.com, along with a lot of other stuff like Warframe clan. There's the Switch clan opened, and now we're up to like 100 people already. It's great. It is fantastic. Like that platform is doing amazing things for Warframe, and it's actually has a great community within our community. So if you're looking forward to that, or any platform for Warframe, PS4, Xbox One, PC, Switch, join us. A lot of other things going on in the community development. Like what we like to do is we like to listen to our members and say what kind of games are coming out, right? And then based on what people's I guess thoughts are on how popular it could be, or if they want to work on getting their friends in, we create a channel for it, and we try to help that along the way to get to like an actual larger community. So we just really encourage everyone to, if they're a gamer, they're a nerd like us, come into our community and check us out. Talk with us. Talk tech. Talk comics. Talk anime.
Nerd?
Talk anything. Talk nerd. Talk nerd to us, and we are very welcoming to that. So yeah, I mean, we have amazing T-shirts. I know that, right?
Yeah,
We have
amazing.
amazing. We have a lot of stuff. So everything you need to know, pixelpubgaming.com. And for this podcast, we really appreciate a like, share.
follow,
We really
subscribe.
do. Follow, subscribe, because we are live every Monday. At least try to be every Monday. Most Mondays. Really appreciate it if you can share with your friends. All right.
Catch us live. Catch us later. Let everybody know.
Oh, and game giveaways. We can't forget about game giveaways.
Always giving stuff away.
We're always giving stuff away in our community. So, all right. I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's gonna be.
I'll throw out something real quick. I want to thank everyone for hanging out in chat today. It's nice seeing folks showing up and interacting. So
Absolutely.
always thanks to Jin615 showing up, hanging out. Penguin Powered, good seeing you. Haven't seen you before, but glad to have you around.
Good stuff, everybody. But yeah, see everybody later.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.